Ladies and gentlemen, there's a battle we all face, a battle that's often unseen, unheard, and underestimated. It's not the battle against the world or the challenges we face outside. It's the internal war, the one between who we are today and who we are destined to become. It's you vs. you. The truth is, the greatest enemy you'll ever encounter is not in your external circumstances or in the people around you. It's the voice inside your head, the voice that tells you that you're not good enough, that you can't do it, that you're not worthy. That's the voice you need to silence, because that's the voice that's holding you back from reaching your true potential. But there's good news. You have the power to choose. You have the power to decide who you are going to be. You see, life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you respond to what happens to you. Every day you have a choice. You can either let your fears define you, or you can rise above them. You can either let your failures keep you down, or you can learn from them and move forward. The battle you face is not a battle of strength, but of choice. It's about making decisions to push beyond your limitations, to embrace discomfort, to challenge the beliefs that have kept you small. You can choose to be a victim of circumstances or a creator of your future. The choice is yours. You will never achieve greatness by allowing the voice of doubt to dominate your thoughts. This inner critic, this negative force that tries to tell you you can't, you're not enough, it's too late, it is the enemy within. But here's the secret, it's a lie. It's a lie created by your fear, and your fear is rooted in the unknown. Once you step out of that shadow of doubt, you will see that what you feared most was never as powerful as the strength you carry within. And this is where the true journey begins, the journey of self-discovery. You must first discover who you truly are. Not the version that others have shaped, not the version that the world tells you to be, but the authentic, untapped version of yourself. The version that is fearless, the version that knows no limits, the version that is capable of achieving anything they set their mind to. It's already inside you. But it takes commitment to growth, to becoming better each day, to breaking free from the chains of self-doubt. Understand this success is not an event. It's a process. It's a result of consistent discipline, consistent effort, and constant growth. You must choose to discipline yourself even when things are tough, even when no one is watching. Success does not come to the lazy, the fearful, or the complacent. It comes to those who are relentless in their pursuit of excellence. And yes, fear will always be present. Fear is part of the human experience. But here's what I want you to understand: fear is not the problem. The problem is how you respond to fear. You can either let it stop you, or you can use it as fuel to propel you forward. The moment you take action despite the fear, that's when you begin to win the battle. Resilience is another key to overcoming the battle of UVS. Your life will not always go according to plan. There will be setbacks, failures, disappointments. But each time you fall, you have the opportunity to rise again stronger and wiser. Resilience is not about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a stepping stone to success. But the most powerful tool you have in this battle is your purpose. When you know your purpose, everything changes. Your purpose will give you clarity. It will give you the strength to keep moving, even when things get tough. It will give you the courage to fight the battles you need to fight, and the conviction to never give up. When you understand why you do what you do, every obstacle becomes an opportunity to get closer to your destiny. So today, I challenge you to embrace the battle. Don't fear it. Fight it. Fight the doubts, the fears, the limiting beliefs that have held you back for so long. Know that you are stronger than the voice inside your head. You are greater than your fears, your failures, and your weaknesses. You have everything within you to win the battle of UVS. You. The only question you must answer is this: who do you choose to be? The person who is held back by self-doubt and fear, or the person who rises to greatness in spite of those challenges? The power is in your hands. Choose wisely and start the battle today. The greatest conflict we experience is not one that comes from the outside world, but from within ourselves. It's an internal struggle, often invisible to those around us, yet profoundly impactful on our lives. This battle is not about other people or circumstances, the constant tug of war between the person we are today and the person we are destined to become. We all have dreams, goals, and visions of who we could be, yet often we are held back by an inner conflict that keeps us from stepping into our true potential. We are faced with the tension of wanting more while also fearing the unknown. The desire to grow, to achieve, to break free from limitations constantly meets resistance. This resistance is not an external force, but the thoughts and feelings inside us that tell us we are not good enough, that we are not ready, that we are not worthy. It's that voice that says, you can't do it, and that stops us before we even begin. The real challenge is not overcoming the obstacles around us, but overcoming the ones we've built within ourselves. This internal conflict manifests in many ways: self-doubt, fear, procrastination, insecurity. It's easy to blame external factors for our struggles, but the truth is, the most significant hurdles we face are those that originate from our own minds. The limiting beliefs we hold, the fears we nurture, the doubts we allow to control us, these are the forces that stop us from becoming the best version of ourselves. They are the greatest threats to our success, and they reside within. And yet, the key to winning this battle lies in the recognition of our own power. The struggle itself, while difficult, is not without purpose. It's in facing this internal conflict that we learn who we really are, what we're truly capable of, and how much more we can achieve than we ever imagined. To fight this battle is to step into the truth of our own potential. We must understand that it's not the fight itself that defines us, but the way we choose to face it. In this conflict, the most important question we must ask ourselves is not, what do I fear, but who do I want to become? The battle is not a war to win against others, but a personal journey to overcome the limiting forces within. We must learn to quiet the negative voices in our heads, to silence the doubts and fears, and to step into the fullness of who we are meant to be. It's through this internal struggle that we forge the path to greatness. The power of choice is one of the most profound gifts we possess as individuals. Every day, in every moment, we are given the opportunity to decide who we are, what we do, and how we react. It's easy to overlook how significant our choices truly are, but the reality is that each choice, no matter how small, has the potential to shape the course of our lives. We often think that our circumstances define us, but in truth, it is the choices we make in response to those circumstances that determine who we become. In life, we're constantly presented with crossroads moments where we must choose between what's comfortable and what's challenging, between staying in the familiar or stepping into the unknown. These choices are not always easy. They require us to step outside of our comfort zones, to take risks, and sometimes to face our own fears. But it is in these very choices that our greatest growth occurs. Every decision we make is a step either toward growth or stagnation, toward living our dreams or remaining stuck in a cycle of mediocrity. The power of choice is the power to break free from the limitations that hold us back. When we choose to take ownership of our decisions, we empower ourselves to create the life we desire. It's not about waiting for the perfect moment or for external circumstances to align perfectly. It's about making a decision and taking action, regardless of the uncertainty or obstacles in the way. The key lies in our ability to choose, even when faced with fear or doubt. Choosing to believe in ourselves, choosing to keep moving forward, even when things seem difficult, choosing to learn from failure instead of being defeated by it. These choices make all the difference. What's often overlooked is the fact that many of us have the power to make these choices without even realizing it. We may spend so much time reacting to life's events, feeling like we have no control over what happens to us, that we forget we always have the ability to choose how we respond. We can choose our attitude, our mindset, and our actions. We can choose to see setbacks as opportunities to grow, to embrace challenges as chances to learn, and to approach every day as a fresh opportunity to build the life we want. In doing so, we take the reins of our own destiny and stop letting external forces dictate our future. The beauty of choice is that it's always available. No matter where we are in life, no matter how far we feel we've strayed from our dreams, we can always choose to begin again. The past doesn't define us unless we let it. We have the ability to rewrite our stories, to change our past, to redefine who we are. Simply by making different choices. We can choose to let go of the past, to stop whole, hang on to regrets and mistakes, and to move forward with intention. In each new choice, we find the possibility of a new beginning. The power of choice is the power of freedom. The freedom to create the life we envision, the freedom to live according to our values, and the freedom to become the person we were always meant to be. It's a constant reminder that we are not victims of fate, but creators of our own journey. The choices we make today lay the foundation for the life we live tomorrow. And the more conscious and intentional we are with our decisions, the more empowered we become. Self-discovery is one of the most transformative and essential journeys we can embark on. It is not a destination, but a continual process of uncovering who we truly are beneath the layers of expectations, conditioning, and external influences. We are constantly evolving, and as we move through life, we encounter moments that push us to reflect on our purpose, our passions, and the deeper desires that drive us. Self-discovery is about peeling back the surface to explore the essence of who we are, recognizing the strengths and weaknesses within us, and finding clarity in what truly matters. At the core of self-discovery is the realization that we are not defined by what others think of us or by the roles we play in society. We are more than just our jobs, titles, or the way others perceive us. We are complex beings with unique experiences, perspectives, and gifts. To discover who we are, we must first learn to embrace ourselves in all our complexity, the good and the bad, the light and the dark. It's in this acceptance that we begin to unravel our true potential. Many of us go through life guided by the expectations placed upon us by our family, society, or even ourselves. These expectations shape the choices we make and the way we live. However, without self-discovery, we may find ourselves following paths that don't align with our true values or desires. We may chase after things that seem important because they are what others value, only to find that they don't bring the fulfillment we seek. It's easy to lose sight of who we are in the noise of the world around us. Self-discovery requires us to step back and listen to our inner voice, to tune into our instincts, and to ask ourselves, what do I truly want? What brings me joy? What is my purpose in this world? This journey often involves a process of trial and error, where we explore different aspects of ourselves and test what resonates with us. We may try new things, pursue different paths, or confront uncomfortable truths about who we are. It can be challenging and even painful at times, but it is essential for growth. Each experience, whether positive or negative, teaches us something about ourselves. Through these lessons, we gain insights into our strengths and limitations, our passions and fears, and the kind of life we truly want to create. It's through embracing the discomfort and uncertainty of this process that we begin to find the clarity we seek. Self-discovery also requires us to be honest with ourselves. We must confront the fears, insecurities, and doubts that have shaped our behaviors and beliefs. Often we are held back by our own perceptions of what we can or cannot do, by the stories we've told ourselves about our limitations. Breaking free from these mental barriers requires us to acknowledge them, challenge them, and replace them with empowering beliefs. This is where the real work of self-discovery happens, when we confront our own inner narratives and rewrite them according to who we truly are, not who we feel we are. As we move deeper into self-discovery, we begin to uncover our true purpose. Purpose is not something that is given to us by others. It is something we must discover within ourselves. It is a reflection of our unique talents, values, and passions, and it gives us a sense of direction and meaning in life. When we connect with our purpose, everything changes. We begin to approach life with a sense of clarity and intention, knowing that every step we take is leading us towards something greater. Our purpose becomes the driving force that propels us forward, even when faced with challenges, setbacks, or obstacles. Self-discovery is not a one-time event, but an ongoing journey. As we grow and evolve, we continue to uncover new aspects of ourselves and redefine who we are. This process doesn't have a finish line, because as we change and adapt to life's experiences, our understanding of ourselves deepens. The more we invest in self-discovery, the more we unlock our potential and open ourselves up to greater possibilities. It is an empowering journey that allows us to live authentically, to make choices that align with our true desires, and to embrace the fullness of who we are. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is one of the most powerful steps we can take on the journey to personal growth and success. We all have beliefs, ideas that we hold to be true about ourselves, the world, and our capabilities. These beliefs often shape how we view ourselves and what we believe we can achieve. However, many of these beliefs are not rooted in reality. They are the result of past experiences, societal conditioning, or fear-based thinking. Limiting beliefs are the mental barriers that keep us from reaching our full potential, and breaking free from them is essential if we are to create the life we truly desire. Limiting beliefs often start as a result of negative experiences or feedback from others. Perhaps as a child we were told we weren't good enough, or we faced failure in a particular area and internalized the idea that we would never succeed. These beliefs can take root deep within us, forming unconscious patterns of thought that govern our actions and decisions. Over time, we may not even recognize that these beliefs are holding us back because they become so ingrained in our thinking. They shape the way we approach challenges, relationships, and opportunities, often leading us to avoid taking risks or stepping outside of our comfort zones. One of the most common limiting beliefs is the idea of not being enough. We may believe we're not smart enough, not talented enough, or not worthy of success. These beliefs create a sense of inadequacy that can paralyze us, causing us to hesitate when it comes to pursuing our goals or dreams. We may convince ourselves that we aren't capable of achieving the things we want because we have internalized the idea that we're simply not good enough. But the truth is that these beliefs are not facts. They are just stories we've told ourselves based on past experiences or societal expectations. Another limiting belief is the fear of failure. Many people avoid pursuing their dreams because they fear that they won't succeed or that they will make mistakes. This fear of failure is rooted in the belief that failure is something to be avoided at all costs, and it often leads to perfectionism or procrastination. When we are afraid to fail, we play it safe, staying in our comfort zones and never stretching ourselves to reach our full potential. The irony is that failure is often a stepping stone to success. Every successful person has encountered failure at some point. It is part of the learning process. The key is to view failure not as a reflection of our worth, but as an opportunity to learn, grow, and improve. Breaking free from these limiting beliefs requires a shift in perspective. We must first recognize that these beliefs are not the truth. They are just old stories, habits of thought, and conditioned responses. The next step is to challenge these beliefs and ask ourselves whether they are truly accurate or helpful. For example, if we believe that we are not good enough to achieve our goals, we must ask ourselves, is that really true? What evidence do we have that supports this belief? More often than not, we will find that our limiting beliefs are based on assumptions or fears, not on facts. Once we recognize these beliefs, we can start to replace them with new, empowering beliefs that support our growth and success. Instead of thinking, I am not good enough, we can choose to believe, I am capable of learning and growing, and I have everything I need to succeed. We can start to affirm our strengths, acknowledge our progress, and embrace the idea that we are worthy of success and happiness. Rewriting these internal narratives takes time and practice, but the more we reinforce positive, empowering beliefs, the more natural it becomes to operate from that mindset. Another critical aspect of breaking free from limiting beliefs is embracing discomfort. Often the beliefs that hold us back are rooted in fear of the unknown, fear of failure, or fear of judgment. Overcoming these fears requires us to step outside of our comfort zones and face the things that scare us. It's about taking action despite the fear, knowing that growth comes from embracing challenges, not avoiding them. When we push ourselves beyond our self-imposed limits, we begin to break down the walls of fear and uncertainty that once held us back. The process of breaking free from limiting beliefs is also about practicing self-compassion. We often judge ourselves harshly when we don't live up to our own expectations, but true growth comes from treating ourselves with kindness and understanding. When we make mistakes or face setbacks, we should view them as part of the process, not as evidence of our inadequacy. By being compassionate with ourselves, we give ourselves permission to try, fail, and try again, knowing that each step brings us closer to our true potential. Breaking free from limiting beliefs is an act of empowerment. It is the realization that we are not bound by our past, our failures, or the limiting stories we've been told. We are capable of creating new beliefs that serve us, beliefs that empower us to take action, to pursue our dreams, and to overcome obstacles with resilience. When we free ourselves from these mental chains, we open up the possibility for growth, achievement, and a life that reflects our true potential. The inner critic is one of the most insidious forces that many of us face. It's that voice inside our heads that constantly tells us we're not good enough, that we're not capable, or that we don't deserve success. It often begins as a whisper, a passing thought. But over time it can grow louder and more powerful, shaping how we view ourselves and influencing the choices we make. The inner critic thrives on self-doubt and insecurity, and it can paralyze us, preventing us from taking action or pursuing our dreams. This voice often magnifies our weaknesses, exaggerates our failures, and distorts our perception of reality, creating an image of ourselves that is far removed from the truth. What makes the inner critic so dangerous is that it's not always easy to recognize. It's a part of us, a voice we often believe to be our own, even though it's rooted in fear, past experiences, or negative conditioning. It might sound like the voices of people from our past, parents, teachers, or peers who criticized us, belittled us, or made us feel small. Over time, we internalize these messages and begin to believe them as truths, even when they're not. The inner critic becomes a distorted mirror, showing us an image of ourselves that is incomplete and untrue. One of the ways the inner critic manifests is through perfectionism. It tells us that we must do everything perfectly or not do it at all. This belief can be paralyzing as it leads to fear of failure and procrastination. The thought of making a mistake or not meeting some arbitrary standard becomes overwhelming. And so we avoid taking risks or trying new things altogether. The inner critic convinces us that we are only valuable if we are perfect, and it creates a cycle of self-doubt that keeps us from moving forward. The inner critic also plays a significant role in our fear of judgment. It tells us that others will think less of us if we fail, if we don't measure up, or if we take risks. It thrives on comparison, urging us to look at others and measure ourselves against their successes. This constant comparison creates feelings of inadequacy and low self-worth. We might convince ourselves that we're not as good, not as smart, or not as talented as those around us, even when that simply isn't true. The inner critic blinds us to our own unique strengths and capabilities, leaving us stuck in a state of self-doubt. What's particularly challenging is that the inner critic often speaks in a language that sounds rational and logical. It might tell us that we should be cautious, that we need to play it safe, that we need to be realistic. But in reality, this voice is fueled by fear and limited thinking. It encourages us to shrink back and stay small, rather than step into our full potential. The voice of the inner critic is often disguised as a voice of reason, which makes it even harder to distinguish from our true inner wisdom. But there is hope. The key to overcoming the inner critic is to recognize it for what it is, a product of fear, not truth. The first step in quieting this voice is to become aware of it. We need to listen to the negative thoughts that arise and challenge them. Are they really true? Do they reflect our real capabilities? Most of the time we'll find that the inner critic is exaggerating our flaws and ignoring our strengths. By questioning these thoughts, we can begin to disarm them. Another way to counter the inner critic is through self-compassion. Instead of listening to the critical voice, we can choose to speak to ourselves with kindness and understanding. We all have imperfections and we all make mistakes. That's part of being human. The inner critic often punishes us for our mistakes, but self-compassion encourages us to embrace our mistakes as opportunities for growth. Rather than seeing failure as something to be ashamed of, we can view it as a necessary step on the path to success. We can learn to forgive ourselves and move forward with a sense of grace. We can also shift our focus from perfection to progress. Instead of aiming for an unrealistic standard of flawlessness, we can embrace the idea that doing our best is enough. Progress is about moving forward, not about being perfect. Every small step forward is a victory, and every setback is a lesson that helps us grow. The inner critic wants us to believe that anything less than perfection is failure. But progress is built on consistent effort, not flawless execution. It's important to create a supportive environment that reinforces positive thinking. Surrounding ourselves with people who believe in us, who encourage us, and who help us see our value is crucial. Negative voices, whether internal or external, thrive in isolation. But when we have a strong support system, we begin to see ourselves through a more accurate and compassionate lens. These people can help us recognize our strengths and remind us that we are capable of achieving great things, even when the inner critic tells us otherwise. Overcoming the inner critic is not about eliminating it entirely, but about learning to quiet its voice. It's about recognizing that we are not defined by the negative thoughts that arise in our minds, but by the actions we take and the person we choose to become. The inner critic will always be there, but with awareness, self-compassion, and a commitment to progress, we can choose not to let it dictate our lives. We are more than the negative stories we tell ourselves. We are capable, worthy, and strong, and it's time to let our true voice shine through. Commitment to growth is a powerful and ongoing decision that shapes the trajectory of our lives. It's not something that happens overnight or in a single moment of inspiration, but rather it is a mindset, a continual choice to embrace improvement, to evolve, and to move toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Growth requires us to be proactive in seeking knowledge, developing new skills, and challenging our own limitations. It demands that we consistently push past the comfort zones where complacency resides and step into the discomfort that comes with change. The commitment to growth is rooted in the understanding that we are not finished products, we are constantly in the process of becoming. Life by its nature is fluid and ever-changing. Just as the world around us evolves, so too must we. Committing to growth means refusing to settle for the status quo and instead choosing to adapt, to learn, and to evolve in alignment with our highest potential. It is a willingness to face the challenges that come with change and to see them as opportunities rather than obstacles. A major aspect of this commitment is the willingness to face discomfort and failure. Growth does not happen in a straight line. It is messy, full of setbacks, challenges, and mistakes. But in each of these moments, there are lessons to be learned. Growth is not about avoiding failure, but embracing it as a necessary part of the journey. When we commit to growth, we recognize that failures are not reflections of our worth, but stepping stones towards success. Each failure teaches us something new, whether it's about our strengths, our weaknesses, or the ways in which we can improve. Rather than allowing failure to stop us, we choose to see it as feedback that guides us forward. Equally important, the commitment to growth is the need for self-awareness. We cannot grow if we are unaware of our own patterns, behaviors, and limitations. Growth requires us to look within, to be honest with ourselves about our current state, and to identify areas where we can improve. This process of self-reflection can sometimes be uncomfortable, as it requires us to confront aspects of ourselves that we may prefer to ignore. However, this self-awareness is essential for progress. It allows us to recognize our blind spots, to understand the root of our challenges, and to take intentional steps toward change. Part of our commitment to growth is the discipline to show up consistently. Growth does not happen through sporadic bursts of effort or by waiting for the perfect time. It requires consistent action, no matter how small, every day. The commitment to growth means that we make daily choices that move us in the direction of our goals, whether it's learning something new, practicing a skill, or making decisions that align with our values. Even on days when progress seems slow or non-existent, the act of showing up and making an effort compounds over time. Small, consistent actions lead to big results. This steady dedication builds momentum, creating a cycle of positive change. In committing to growth, we also open ourselves to learning from others. Personal development is not a solitary journey. We can gain invaluable insights from the people around us, whether mentors, peers, or even those we might consider adversaries. Engaging with others, listening to their perspectives, and seeking guidance allows us to expand our own understanding and approach. Growth involves being humble enough to recognize that we do not have all the answers and that we can always learn from the experiences and wisdom of others. A true commitment to growth also requires a mindset of resilience. Life will present obstacles and growth will often be met with resistance. There will be moments when it feels easier to give up, to settle, or to return to old habits. Resilience is what keeps us going when times get tough. It's the ability to bounce back from disappointment, to continue pushing forward in the face of adversity, and to remain focused on the long-term vision. It's the belief that no matter what happens, we can learn, adjust, and keep moving forward. Growth also involves expanding our capacity for gratitude and positivity. As we evolve, we learn to appreciate the process, the journey, and the lessons along the way. Instead of fixating solely on the end goal, we learn to recognize and celebrate the progress we make, however small. That attitude for the challenges, the opportunities, and the people who support us helps maintain a positive mindset, which in turn fuels our growth. When we focus on the progress we've made rather than the distance left to cover, we stay motivated and inspired to continue. The commitment to growth means living with a sense of purpose. Growth is not just about improving for the sake of improvement, it is about growing in alignment with our values and vision for our lives. It's about understanding the deeper why behind our efforts and staying true to that purpose as we evolve. When we are clear on our purpose, growth becomes less about external achievements and more about becoming who we were always meant to be. Purpose guides our efforts, helps us navigate challenges, and gives us the strength to continue growing even when the path seems unclear. Committing to growth is about choosing to never stop evolving. It is a lifelong commitment to learning, improving, and becoming. It is the willingness to let go of limiting beliefs, to face our fears, and to keep moving forward, no matter the setbacks or obstacles. Through this commitment, we unlock our true potential and create a life that is not defined by where we started, but by how far we are willing to go. Discipline is the foundation upon which success is built. It is the ability to consistently take the necessary actions, regardless of how we feel in the moment, to reach our goals. Discipline is not just about following rules or adhering to external expectations. It's about maintaining a focused commitment to our own growth and the long-term vision we have for our lives. It requires us to make intentional choices each day that align with our values and aspirations, even when those choices are difficult or inconvenient. Discipline is the bridge between where we are and where we want to be. The importance of discipline cannot be overstated, as it influences virtually every area of our lives. It's the reason some people achieve extraordinary things while others struggle to make progress. Without discipline, our dreams can remain just that, dreams, without ever becoming reality. It is discipline that transforms ambition into action, ideas into execution, and potential into results. It's what separates those who merely wish for success from those who actively work for it. While talent and intelligence may open doors, it's discipline that ensures we walk through them and continue moving forward once we do. One of the key aspects of discipline is the ability to delay gratification. In a world that values instant results, it's easy to fall into the trap of seeking quick fixes and shortcuts. However, real lasting success requires patience and the willingness to put in the hard work, even when the rewards are not immediate. Discipline teaches us to focus on the bigger picture, to understand that the effort we put in today will pay off in the future, even if that future seems far away. It helps us resist the temptation of immediate pleasures that may offer short-term satisfaction but ultimately detract from our long-term goals. Discipline also builds habits, and habits are the true power behind sustainable success. Every great accomplishment is the result of countless small, disciplined actions repeated over time. Whether it's committing to regular exercise, maintaining a consistent study routine, or dedicating time each day to a passion project, it is discipline that ensures these actions become part of our daily lives. Good habits are the result of consistent discipline, and they are what propel us toward our goals without us even having to think about them. Over time, these habits accumulate, compounding our efforts and yielding significant results. Another key element of discipline is resilience, the ability to stay focused and keep going even when things get tough. There will always be challenges, distractions, and setbacks along the way. Discipline teaches us how to navigate those difficulties without losing sight of our purpose. It helps us stay grounded and maintain our commitment to our goals, even when the road gets rough. The disciplined person doesn't give up after one failure, one disappointment, or one difficult day. Instead, they persist, knowing that success is often born from overcoming adversity and maintaining the course. Discipline is also vital for personal growth and self-mastery. It requires us to make decisions that are aligned with our highest potential, even when it's easier to follow the path of least resistance. It pushes us to be accountable for our actions, to take responsibility for the choices we make, and to not let excuses get in the way. Discipline holds us to our commitments and keeps us honest with ourselves. When we are disciplined, we do what we say we will do, even when it's inconvenient or uncomfortable. This accountability is crucial for building integrity and trust in ourselves, which in turn fuels further growth and success. Discipline helps us maintain focus and avoid distractions. In an age where we are constantly bombarded with information, entertainment, and social media, it can be easy to lose track of what truly matters. Discipline requires us to prioritize our time and energy, to say no to things that do not serve our goals, and to stay concentrated on what is most important. It teaches us the value of setting boundaries both with others and with ourselves to protect our time and mental resources. Through discipline, we learn how to block out the noise and stay on task, even when other things seem more appealing or urgent. Discipline is not just about achieving success, it's about developing the strength of character to become the person we aspire to be. It is through discipline that we build self-respect, confidence, and a sense of accomplishment. When we are disciplined, we know we can rely on ourselves to follow through on our commitments, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. We begin to trust our ability to handle challenges and create the life we desire. While discipline may feel like a restrictive force at times, it is actually the key to freedom. The discipline to make the right choices, the discipline to act, even when motivation is low, and the discipline to stay focused on our goals provides us with the freedom to create the life we want. Discipline allows us to take control of our actions and choices rather than letting external circumstances dictate our outcomes. Through consistent disciplined action, we take the reins of our own lives, shaping our future and ensuring that we don't just drift aimlessly but move with purpose and direction. Discipline is what turns our dreams into reality. It's the engine that drives our progress, the framework that supports our ambitions, and the foundation upon which all success is built. Without discipline, even the most brilliant ideas and talents can go to waste. With it, however, we unlock our potential and create a life that reflects the vision we have for ourselves. Overcoming fear is one of the most profound challenges we face in life. Fear, by its nature, is designed to protect us, to warn us of potential dangers. However, when it becomes excessive or irrational, fear can paralyze us, preventing us from pursuing our dreams and living up to our full potential. Fear often holds us back from taking risks, from stepping outside our comfort zones, and from embracing the opportunities that life presents. It whispers doubts into our minds, convinces that we are not capable, and traps us in a cycle of inaction. The truth, however, is that fear is not an insurmountable obstacle, but a force we can learn to overcome. The first step in overcoming fear is recognizing it for what it is, an emotional response that doesn't always reflect reality. Fear is often driven by our thoughts and perceptions, which can become distorted in times of uncertainty. We may fear failure of rejection or the unknown, but these fears are often exaggerated by our imaginations. The reality is that most of the things we fear never actually happen. When we face our fears head-on, we often find that they are far less threatening than we believed. Our minds tend to amplify the worst-case scenario, making fear seem more powerful than it actually is. By bringing awareness to these exaggerated fears, we can start to challenge them and gain perspective. One of the most effective ways to overcome fear is by taking action in spite of it. Fear often thrives when we avoid the things that scare us, giving it more power over all our lives. The longer we avoid a fear, the bigger it seems. But when we take small steps toward confronting what scares us, we diminish the fear's hold on us. It's not about eliminating fear altogether, it's about learning to move forward, even when fear is present. Taking action is like shining a light on the dark corners of our minds, making fear less intimidating. The more we confront our fears, the more we realize that we are capable of handling them. Each step we take in the face of fear strengthens our resilience and self-confidence. Another critical component of overcoming fear is reframing it. Instead of seeing fear as something to be avoided, we can choose to see it as a sign of growth and opportunity. Fear often signals that we are about to step into new territory, whether it's a new challenge, a new phase of life, or an opportunity for personal development. When we reframe fear in this way, we can embrace it as a natural part of the process of becoming better, stronger, and more capable. Fear is a signal that we are stretching beyond our current limits, and this stretching is essential for growth. Instead of running from fear, we can welcome it as a companion on the journey of personal evolution. The support of others can also be a powerful tool in overcoming fear. Often fear isolates us, making us feel as though we are alone in our struggles. But when we share our fears with trusted friends, family, or mentors, we gain perspective and encouragement. Others can remind us of our strengths, offer solutions to problems we might not have considered, and simply reassure us that fear is a normal part of the human experience. By leaning on the support of others, we can take the edge off our fears and move forward with a greater sense of security. Additionally, seeing others face and overcome their own fears can inspire us to do the same. We begin to understand that fear is not unique to us, and that overcoming it is part of the shared human experience. Another key to overcoming fear is cultivating a mindset of resilience. Fear often arises in response to potential failure or hardship, but the truth is that failure is not the end of the road, it is simply part of the journey. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks, to keep going even when things don't go as planned. When we approach fear with a resilient mindset, we remind ourselves that we are strong enough to handle whatever challenges come our way. We understand that setbacks are temporary, and that every experience, whether positive or negative, contributes to our growth. This mindset allows us to face fear with a sense of optimism and determination, knowing that we can rise above any difficulties we encounter. In addition to resilience, self-compassion plays an important role in overcoming fear. Often fear is exacerbated by our own self-criticism and negative self-talk. We may fear that we won't be good enough, that we'll fail, or that others will judge us harshly. This inner dialogue can make fear feel even more overwhelming. However, when we practice self-compassion, we acknowledge that fear is a natural human experience and that we are deserving of kindness and understanding regardless of the outcome. We give ourselves permission to be imperfect, to make mistakes, and to learn along the way. By being gentle with ourselves, we reduce the power that fear has over us, and we can move forward with more confidence and ease. Overcoming fear requires us to trust in ourselves and our abilities. Fear often comes from a lack of belief in our own strength or capacity to handle challenges. But when we build self-confidence and trust in our ability to overcome obstacles, fear loses power. This trust is built through small successes, through reflecting on past challenges we have overcome, and through consistently reminding ourselves of our resilience. When we trust ourselves, fear becomes less intimidating, because we know that no matter what happens, we will find a way to navigate through it. Overcoming fear is not about eliminating it from our lives entirely. Fear will always be a part of the human experience, but it does not have to control us. By recognizing fear for what it is, taking action despite it, reframing it as a sign of growth, seeking support, cultivating resilience, practicing self-compassion, and trusting in our abilities, we can break free from the grip of fear and move forward with courage. Fear is not the enemy, it is simply a signal that we are stepping into new, uncharted territory. And in that territory lies the potential for growth, opportunity, and transformation. Building resilience is an essential skill for navigating life's inevitable challenges. Resilience is the ability to adapt to adversity, bounce back from setbacks, and keep moving forward even in the face of difficulties. It is not something we are born with, but rather a quality that can be developed and strengthened over time. Life often presents us with trials that test our limits, whether it's personal loss, failure, disappointment, or unforeseen circumstances. How we respond to these challenges determines not only the outcome, but also our growth as individuals. Building resilience involves learning how to confront hardship with a mindset that focuses on strength, adaptability, and perseverance. At the heart of resilience is the understanding that setbacks and adversity are not the end of the road. They are part of the journey, and each challenge we face carries with it an opportunity for growth. Resilient individuals see challenges not as obstacles, but as chances to learn, improve, and become stronger. When things don't go according to plan, they don't collapse under the weight of the situation. Instead, they take a step back, assess the situation, and look for solutions. The ability to see hardship as a temporary setback rather than a permanent failure is crucial to building resilience. This perspective helps us stay grounded and focused on the long-term picture rather than getting bogged down by short-term difficulties. Another key element in building resilience is emotional regulation. Life can be unpredictable, and often the situations we face evoke strong emotions such as fear, frustration, or sadness. Resilient people understand the importance of managing these emotions in a healthy way. They don't suppress or deny their feelings, but rather acknowledge them and allow themselves to experience them fully. However, they don't let these emotions control their actions. Instead, they use emotional awareness as a tool for better decision making. Being able to pause, reflect, and respond thoughtfully rather than react impulsively is an important skill for resilience. Emotional regulation enables us to remain calm in the face of chaos and make decisions that align with our values and goals rather than being driven by fear or frustration. Building resilience also requires a strong sense of self-awareness. It involves recognizing our own strengths, weaknesses, and triggers. Self-awareness helps us identify how we typically respond to stress and adversity, and it allows us to make conscious efforts to change those responses when necessary. It enables us to acknowledge when we are struggling, which in turn helps us seek the support we need or take the necessary actions to get back on track. Additionally, self-awareness fosters a sense of control over our thoughts and behaviors. Instead of being reactive, we are able to respond proactively, taking charge of how we navigate challenges. Resilience is also greatly influenced by our mindset. People with a growth mindset, those who believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through effort, are more likely to exhibit resilience. When faced with difficulties, they view these challenges as opportunities to learn, rather than signs of personal failure. They are open to feedback, they embrace mistakes as part of the learning process, and they don't shy away from effort. By adopting a growth mindset, we are less likely to be discouraged by failure, because we see it not as something final, but as a part of the journey toward mastery. Resilience in this sense becomes a natural byproduct of the belief that we can always improve and adapt, no matter what comes our way. Support networks also play a crucial role in building resilience. No one can go through life's difficulties alone. Having a solid support system, whether it's friends, family, or colleagues, can make all the difference in how we handle adversity. Resilient individuals are not afraid to lean on others for support, whether it's for practical help or emotional encouragement. Connecting with others during tough times allows us to gain perspective, share burdens, and receive guidance. It reminds us that we are not alone in our struggles and that there are people who care about us and are willing to help. The act of reaching out for support builds resilience as it reinforces our sense of community and connection. Resilience also requires a sense of purpose and meaning in life. People who have a clear sense of why they are doing what they're doing are more likely to persevere through difficulties. Having a strong sense of purpose gives us something to hold on to when things get tough. It serves as a guiding light that helps us keep moving forward, even when the path seems uncertain. Purpose provides us with the motivation to keep going, and it helps us maintain perspective when we feel overwhelmed. Whether it's a personal passion, a cause we care about, or a goal we're working toward, purpose provides the fuel that sustains us during challenging times. Another important aspect of building resilience is self-care. Taking care of our physical and mental health is crucial for maintaining the strength and energy required to bounce back from adversity. When we are physically drained, emotionally overwhelmed, or mentally exhausted, it becomes much harder to face challenges with clarity and resolve. Practicing regular self-care, such as getting enough rest, eating nutritious food, exercising, and engaging in activities that bring us joy, helps us build the resilience needed to cope with stress and maintain balance. Self-care is not a luxury, but a necessity for sustaining our ability to face life's difficulties with resilience. Building resilience requires an ongoing commitment to learning and growing. Life will continue to throw challenges our way, and the more we learn about ourselves and the world around us, the better equipped we become to handle them. Each challenge, no matter how difficult, provides an opportunity to build new skills, develop new perspectives, and strengthen our resilience. As we continue to face adversity, we accumulate a wealth of experience that enables us to approach future challenges with greater wisdom and confidence. In essence, building resilience is not about avoiding difficulty or never experiencing hardship. It is about how we respond to those challenges. It's about developing the ability to bounce back, to stay grounded in the face of adversity, and to keep moving forward even when things feel uncertain. Through emotional regulation, self-awareness, a growth mindset, support networks, a sense of purpose, self-care, and a commitment to learning, we can cultivate the resilience needed to face life's most difficult moments and come out stronger on the other side. Life's challenges will always come, but with resilience we have the strength to overcome them and continue on our path toward growth and fulfillment. Empowerment through purpose is one of the most transformative forces in a person's life. Purpose acts as a guiding compass, giving direction to our actions, thoughts, and decisions. When we have a clear sense of purpose, we become more than just passive participants in our lives. We become active creators of our own destiny. Purpose instills a sense of meaning and significance in everything we do, turning ordinary tasks into steps towards a greater vision. It drives us to wake up each day with determination, knowing that what we do matters and that our efforts contribute to something larger than ourselves. At its core, purpose provides us with clarity and focus. In a world filled with distractions, confusion, and external pressures, it's easy to lose sight of what truly matters. However, when we have a defined purpose, we are able to filter out the noise and stay focused on what aligns with our deepest values and aspirations. Purpose serves as a filter through which we make decisions, helping us to prioritize what is important and eliminate the distractions that threaten to pull us off course. With purpose, we become intentional in our actions, recognizing that each step we take is part of a greater journey that leads to fulfillment and success. One of the greatest gifts of purpose is its ability to provide us with resilience in the face of adversity. When we encounter setbacks, obstacles, or challenges, it's easy to feel discouraged or defeated. However, when we are driven by a purpose that is deeply meaningful to us, we are more likely to persevere through difficulties. Purpose gives us the strength to keep going, even when the road is hard, because we understand that the struggle is part of the larger picture. We see challenges as opportunities for growth, and we draw on our sense of purpose to keep moving forward. When purpose is at the forefront, failure becomes just a stepping stone, not an end. Each setback is viewed as a lesson that brings us closer to achieving our mission. Purpose also empowers us by creating a sense of ownership and control in our lives. It's easy to feel like life is happening to us, especially when we encounter unexpected difficulties or when we feel powerless over certain situations. But purpose reminds us that we are not victims of our circumstances. Instead, we are the authors of our own stories. By embracing a sense of purpose, we take ownership of our lives and our actions, recognizing that we have the power to shape our future. This sense of agency can be incredibly empowering, as it fosters a belief that no matter the external circumstances, we have the power to decide how we respond and what we do next. When we are aligned with our purpose, it also enhances our self-worth. Purpose is a reflection of our deepest values, passions, and desires. It's about understanding what we stand for, and what we are willing to fight for. When we connect with our purpose, we begin to recognize our intrinsic value and the unique contribution we bring to the world. This understanding builds confidence and self-esteem, as we know that we are living authentically and in alignment with our true selves. Empowerment through purpose is not about seeking validation from others. It's about recognizing our own worth and knowing that we are capable of achieving great things because we are guided by something meaningful. Purpose fosters a sense of direction and fulfillment. Life can sometimes feel directionless or aimless, especially if we lack a clear vision or goal. But when we know our purpose, we wake up with a sense of direction that infuses everything we do with meaning. It's not about achieving perfection or instant success. It's about the journey towards something that holds personal significance. This sense of purpose brings satisfaction and fulfillment because we know that our actions are aligned with something that matters to us deeply. Instead of living for external rewards, we live for internal satisfaction, knowing that we are fulfilling our potential and contributing to a greater cause. In addition to individual empowerment, purpose also creates a ripple effect, empowering others along the way. When we are driven by a sense of purpose, our actions, words, and presence can inspire others to find their own purpose. There is a contagious energy in purpose-driven individuals. When others see someone living with clear direction and passion, they are inspired to reflect on their own lives and consider what their own purpose might be. Purpose not only transforms the individual, but it also has the power to uplift and motivate those around them. It becomes a shared force that inspires communities, teams, and movements, amplifying its impact far beyond the individual. Purpose also helps us to overcome self-doubt and fear. Often when we pursue something new or challenging, fear of failure or imposter syndrome can paralyze us. However, when we are anchored in a clear purpose, those fears begin to fade. Purpose reminds us why we started in the first place and gives us the courage to keep going even when we feel unsure. The fear of failure becomes less significant because we are not focused on the outcome alone, we are focused on the journey and the bigger picture. When we are driven by purpose, we become less concerned with external validation and more committed to the intrinsic value of what we are doing. Another aspect of empowerment through purpose is the sense of alignment it brings to our lives. When our actions are in harmony with our values, we experience a deep sense of satisfaction and fulfillment. Purpose helps us to live authentically, to make decisions that align with our core beliefs, and to build a life that reflects who we truly are. It provides a roadmap for making choices that are not dictated by societal expectations or fleeting desires, but by a deep internal understanding of what truly matters to us. Empowerment through purpose is about living with intention and meaning. It is about taking control of our own story, navigating life with clarity and resilience, and continuously evolving in pursuit of something that holds deep significance. When we know our purpose, we are not easily swayed by the ups and downs of life. We become steadfast in our vision, confident in our abilities, and passionate about the impact we can make. Purpose is the fuel that propels us forward, not just toward success, but toward a life of fulfillment, connection, and lasting impact. It is the ultimate source of empowerment, transforming how we see ourselves, how we engage with the world, and how we live our lives. Empowerment through purpose is the key to unlocking our true potential. It is the driving force that propels us forward, giving us the strength, clarity, and resilience to overcome challenges and embrace every opportunity life presents. Purpose doesn't just give our lives direction, it imbues our actions with meaning, our struggles with lessons, and our successes with fulfillment. When we live with purpose, we are no longer at the mercy of life's circumstances, but we take control, shaping our own destiny with confidence and passion. So I urge you to connect with your purpose, to let it guide you, and to remember that no matter how difficult the road may seem, your purpose is always there to empower you. It's time to step into your greatness, live with intention, and create a life that truly matters. The world is waiting for you to fulfill your purpose, embrace it, and watch as you become unstoppable.